All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for jumping in today. Some pretty incredible show that we have. It's just me today, and I think we're pretty much going to learn a lot. If you're wondering what is happening today, I'm actually trying to see if I can get the CTF platform running. I've never really deployed one before, so there's a few things that we need to do, right? I'll switch over from this headphone to a different one as well, so that things looks nice and clean. But look, let's see how we go. All right. All right, I think we should be good to go. Thank you. I've got my cup of tea or cup of coffee, whichever one it is. I make some weird tea coffee combinations sometimes, which is not, I will advise, is not healthy for you. That's what she said. Oh, that's what my wife said. That's what I meant to say. All right. Okay. So there's a few things that we've got going on today. I'll transition this so you guys can see my face. Okay. So one of the things that's obviously happening is that we have our CTF that's happening on the 15th of November. Well, actually, no, the 13th and the 14th. What was I thinking? That's essentially what is happening. That is when the CTF is happening, not now. And we do have the workshop and the conference. It's obviously the conference day happening on the 15th as well. So the 13th, 14th, and the 15th of November are the due days for Hck4G Con and CTF 2025. There's quite a lot that our team, the team and I have got installed. And throughout this stream, I'm gonna be showing you guys some of the stuff that we're working on. Over the next 3 days, we need to get the CTF platform running. There's a few things that we need to set up. So some of those will essentially include building the CTFd platform on AWS, creating an EC2 instance, SSHing into that EC2 instance, maybe using a bit of AI to generate some setup script that we can work with, and then after that, make sure that authentication is working and everything is all good. A lot of this stream is going to be very much research heavy. So I'm going to be learning a lot on the fly, and I think it's a good opportunity for you guys to sort of learn how some of the stuff that we do here at CyLynk is done in the back end, and then also what we're building and how the relationship between Hck4G and CyLynk sort of come together, right? So hopefully we are going to have a good show and a good fun experience. Well, I can guarantee you guys that I would. And hopefully at the end of this, we should have a CTFd platform running, and then we can start looking at creating some challenges. Obviously, I would not be live streaming the challenge building phase because that essentially would be me giving away the flag itself and where it's stored and how to solve it. But yeah, if you're here for the first time and you've never been to Hck4G before, meetup before, which used to be called BlueCon, or if it is your first time jumping in on one of these streams, I would really want to say thank you for making it and for dropping whatever it is that you were going to be doing tonight. To jump in and join us on the fun. During this stream, for those who are able to jump in, I'll be giving out quite a few tickets to Hck4G Con for those who have not purchased the ticket yet. So if you're not in, definitely jump right in and start having fun. If I finish the stream and no one joins, then I guess the first few people that watches the video and sends an email to CTF at Hck4G.org. So CTF at Hck4G.org. The first few people that send an email to that, the first 10 people would obviously get a ticket to Hck4G conference. This is for the conference day, not for the CTF, because the CTF is actually 100% free. So you don't have to pay anything for that. And the CTF will be running across Nigeria, Ghana, and Australia. And we are looking to expand next year as well. Obviously, this is our first year running this. So I hope you guys can bear with us. There's a lot of really first time, for a lot of things, like building a CTF platform for the first time. I've never built one before, although I've done a lot of research, which I'll be continuing on during this session. And also putting together a larger scale workshop that includes quite a lot of things. Some really interesting training sessions. I was saying this to some people at CyberCon. So shout out to those who met me at CyberCon earlier in the week. And I remember meeting a few people, and I was telling them that the actual real value of the Hack for Good Con day, which is on the 15th of November, is about $1,500. So that's 1,500 Australian. And that is essentially what we're giving away for $120 for the original prize and $50 for students. So it is a massive, massive giveaway. We've got, CISOs, business leaders, senior cybersecurity folks, both offensive and defensive, obviously, because we're very much focused on purple teaming, which is a bit of a difference in the block. So the actual content of that event is going to be absolutely amazing. So we have an iPhone hacking / teardown workshop that is happening, led by Jack Sessions. We also have an OT ICS security workshop that is happening as well. We will also have our very own career village where people can get live, in person, on the spot review of their resumes. And we obviously recommend that you print that out and bring it with you on the day. And we'll also have a bunch of people who are already on the day to support and to help. If you would like to volunteer for Hack for Good or become a member of Hack for Good, go straight on now to hck4g.org and click on the Get Involved drop down bar, and you should be able to reach out to our team, whether that be you wanting to host a Hack for Good in your local community to fight against cybercrime and to provide education and awareness to young people so they choose to hack for good instead. Look, what if, like, majority of the cyber criminals that are out there, or perhaps a majority of the young people that are growing up and coming out of the underserved communities and untapped regions are made or perhaps shown the bright path into cybersecurity, so we don't have to have this generational continuation of cybercrime lineage across some of these regions. And like I can sit here and tell you guys that Africa is not one of those. It is. India is one of those. I think one of the things that a lot of people know is the Microsoft IT support scam that is coming out of India. We have the one that's coming out of Romania. For those who have not heard, there's actually a hacker, sort of suburb, or if you're Australian, you probably say suburb, but there's a little hacker village called Hackerville in Romania, which is a little sort of pocket of the city that is occupied by a lot of black hat hackers. I learned about that just recently, so that's a big one. Shout out to Vlad for sharing that with me. We also have people from China as well who are involved. A lot of young people who are involved in this, and of course Russia, including Ukraine. So a lot of places in the world have their own bad eggs. But obviously, the whole aim of Hack for Good is to disrupt that cybercrime syndicate for young people who are at risk of going down that pathway. And the way we do that is by providing awareness, education, and then we're providing awareness of the consequences of cybercrime, which could essentially, in some cases, be you committing murder, whether manslaughter, whether you know it or not. For a lot of you guys who know my story, you can obviously. You probably know that was something that I kind of found myself doing as a young person, and I've been fighting to get out of that, obviously. So guys, if you've jumped in, definitely go ahead and comment in the comment section and be part of the conversation. So if you missed out what I said I was doing, so today we're going to be going through behind the scenes, look at having the CTF platform built on AWS. We're going to be doing some live configuration across AWS and the hosting platform. And then we'll be taking some, doing a lot of research. Actually, like, the first 20, 30 minutes of this, we'll be doing some research. And then we'll use the remaining 20, 30 minutes to, try to build some things. This is probably going to be a long one. If I don't, finish it during this live stream, I'll continue to record. And then I can share that on the YouTube channel for those who are obviously keen to sort of see how a lot of that stuff works in the back end. Well, I did promise that I'll be giving away some tickets to Hack for Good Con 2025. So if you are here, definitely, say hi in the comment section. If you haven't gotten a ticket yet, or perhaps you are maybe, not close to anywhere that is around Melbourne, then you can still participate on the virtual CTF that will be running, which is why I'm wanting to build that right now. So thanks everyone for jumping in. All right, in case you're wondering who is this fella that is rambling on for the last couple of minutes. Well, my name is Sammy Chalks, and I'm the founder and CEO of Hck4G, and also the Link Group, which is obviously a group of companies that are designed to empower young people in underserved communities and untapped regions, especially here locally in the community here in Australia, in the West, and also in developing an emerging market. So we are a group of businesses that are designed to provide hands-on job-ready cybersecurity training, and then also provide cybersecurity solutions and services to businesses through our other business that is going to be launching up before the end of the year. But the whole aim of this is to really help provide that pathway for young people to choose to hack for good and to choose the good path. I was saying to someone that typically when you catch one threat actor, in places like, I don't know, like you guys hear of the cyber bust, in places like Russia or China, where the KGB goes in and busts some cyber criminals who are, of no value to the Russian nation or something of that nature. When the Russian police go to catch some cyber criminals, well, maybe they might arrest some, maybe 5 or 6 of them and put them in jail. But what often happens is you end up having, thanks, Christian. Thanks for jumping on, mate. Really appreciate it. So if you want to get that free ticket, definitely go ahead and send an email. Just send an email to CTFd, CTF at Hck4G, Hck4G.org, just so I get your email, so I can actually send you the registration stuff information. I've got the email in the chat, so CTF at Hck4G.org. Send your email there, and you should be able to get that free ticket. So thanks, Christian. Who else is in the comment section? Who is here to learn with me? Guys, let me know if my voice is too loud or too low. I'm trying to make sure that I get it right. All right, we're going to wait to see who else is watching. Oh, that's cool. Welcome to the party, my friend. My name is Sammy Chucks, and like I said, we are essentially building a platform that will enable young people both here in Australia and in the West and underserved and untapped communities and regions globally to gain access to job-ready skills, which is essentially why our platform CyLynk.com. We are actually known for providing job-ready training. So essentially, this is essentially where we go beyond the gamification of cybersecurity. Whilst we do have gamification, the whole aim is that you could spend 3 years on Hack2Box or one of the other platforms, which are a great platform, and not necessarily have the skills that is required to be able to land a job or know the right things to say to an employer. So this is why our training is a little bit more different. Whilst it contains all of the elements of these other platforms like TryHackMe and Hack2Box, we go a little bit further to ensure that that training that we're providing delivers an outcome to the learner, which is job readiness. And job readiness is the one thing that sets us apart. We are one of the only platforms that is doing that. Someone asked me recently, how would you describe what you guys are building at CyLynk? And the way I could probably describe it was that if you pitched SANS, if you put SANS together, added SANS plus Hack2Box plus TryHackMe and plus Offsec together, what you would have is essentially what we're building, right? A job-ready first platform. So I don't want to go too deep into the introduction, but great to have everyone here, those who are watching. The next thing we're going to be doing now is actually start the process of doing the research for the CTF platform. So we're going to be building this on AWS. I'm just going to pull out my notes so we can do this. Visual Studio Code. All right, I'll close this and we open that. So that should technically, so let's create a new folder. Maybe so this should be just a new Jupyter notebook, if it'll let me. So typically, so Hck4G, CTF requirement. So what I'm sorry, I forgot that that's how this thing works. So what I'm really essentially trying to do here is I'm trying to list out all of the key things that I want to see happen. So what do I want to do if I'm trying to build a CTF platform? Where do I start, right? So the first thing we're thinking of, is I often recommend this whole thing called having a problem statement. So having a problem statement or a solution statement, depending on what you want to do, because there isn't always a problem. Like you could potentially have a situation where you're looking to solve actually create a solution rather than having a problem that you're solving. But beneath every single solution, there's often a requirement that you're trying to meet. So in this case, what we're trying to do is, whilst we have a mixture of Jeopardy, type CTFs, a lot of the challenges are going to be Jeopardy style CTF. So which means they're read-only. So this is essentially the challenge where you're either downloading a file locally on your computer, which needs to be cached somewhere, or you are I don't know, just doing some research or OSINT, using some information that you've been given to go find it. So if you notice, for these two types of challenge that I described right now, you're not actually actively interacting with the backend server of the CTF platform. Now, there's a third one that often leads to a lot of trouble. Or maybe, well, I forgot to talk about web as well. Like you could have a web-based challenge that is also still read-only. So this is essentially where you are typically not uploading anything to the server. You're often just doing things that would lead to the flag being released. So the one thing to establish there is that if you're doing something like that, then you're probably looking for vulnerabilities like IDOR, where you're basically just doing some directory busting or fuzzing, where you're looking for where that file, the information is hidden, which is technically always in plain sight, but you just need to find it. Or you're looking at a situation where someone is left message in HTML, source code, in the comment section or something like that, and then that essentially becomes a flag. So these two types of web-based challenge that I've just talked about right now doesn't require you to interact with the server. Now, the last one that I was talking about, which would potentially, I guess, be the fourth or the fifth one, I've lost track of my count, would be the boot to root. So I've just described essentially two types of challenges. So one of them is we have the read only. So does not require you. OS level interaction with the CTF backend. And then we have number 2. So this is the boot to root. So read only would essentially include, so we have something like I don't know, web. Now I say web, but typically you could have web that is not read only, essentially where you're uploading a file and trying to get a reverse shell, right? So a lot of that stuff, when you actually have to interact with the web backend server, that's boot to root, and that's where a lot of the complexity sort of comes in. So typically, if you're just running a CTF that is, I'll just list this out, and then we can come back to it. So we have miscellaneous, so that could be, just Wireshark type stuff, and then we obviously have forensic. And then these days you have AI, but we're not going to be having any AI challenges because simply because it's our first year running the CTF, and we are running really low on time, and there's not a lot of resources to do a lot of things. And that reminds me, we are still looking for volunteers. So if you know how to build CTF challenges, or you want to learn how to build CTF challenges, we have a ton of resources that we can give you. It's a great place to start. But we are essentially under a lot of resource crunch for this year. But the good news is that next year we're going to have a lot more time to plan it a lot better. But I can guarantee you guys, do not make any mistake. The 15th of November is going to be absolutely packed. Like I said, it's $1,000 worth of training. Like, one of the great things about Hck4G and what I always envisioned it is that it's going to be job ready focused, right? So a conference like AEST is great. It has its purpose. So it's probably more focused on the exec level type audience where you're not necessarily going into a workshop that would go for 2 hours or something like that. Hack for Good is different. We are focusing on helping you actually get free training on the day that you would otherwise not have gotten. So things like, threat hunting automation, there's going to be a workshop that is actually teaching you how to do threat hunting automation. So you definitely want to make sure that you come on that day with your laptop set up with a VM that you can actually use to learn. So this is going to be hands-on technical training. We also have a bunch of panels that are going to be featured with CISOs. So it's a great networking opportunity for you to meet CISOs. So we essentially have the CISO of ARIA Group, which is on realestate.com.au coming. Amazing person, Joe. We also have the CEO of Sidam speaking. We have the CISO of Ascent Group, which is Lucas. Don't get me to pronounce Lucas' last name. It's pretty hard. I thought my last name was hard, but Lucas' name, his last name gives me the heebie-jeebies. And then we have the founder of AWSN, Jackie Lautau. So amazing guest. We also have someone that is coming out from a different complete industry as well. Someone who's coming from an industry of child sex, slavery, and a bunch of weird stuff. And I think it's actually really good opportunity for you to sort of be part of this organization and this community to learn all of these different areas of cybercrime. Because what we're finding is that where there is cybercrime, there's often a lot of other crimes that are going on as well, which could be, taking advantage of women or taking advantage of men or children, drug trafficking, drug use, drug abuse, and a whole bunch of different things. So this is essentially what we're doing on the day. But anyways, I digress. It's a great opportunity for you to network. If you have not gotten your ticket, guys, this is a 1,500 valued training content, event on the 15th. Like I said, the CTF is going to be 100 free. And that is going to be virtual, so you don't have to come anywhere on the 13th or the 14th. If you do want to meet with a few friends, maybe at a library or something, that you guys want to sort of come together and run and play the CTF at a location to maybe order some pizza and have a good vibe. You can do that, so you don't have to sit in your room for 24 or 48 hours to play. We also have ambassadors from cybersecurity, clubs and universities here in Australia. So Melbourne University is one of the ambassadors of Hack for Good, the student club. RMIT, obviously. Shout out to RMIT for giving us the venue for the event on the day, guys. It's absolutely amazing location for this. We also have Deakin. Shout out to Deakin, Duka. You guys do an incredible job. They're also going to be there. They're also part of our student ambassadors, and we also have university students based in Africa, in Ghana and Nigeria as well, that we're going to be working with. But anyways, guys, it's a great opportunity for you to network and for you to be in the midst of some of the heavyweights in the industry. I think one of the other guys that is going to be coming, who's speaking, is Abraham Reyes, who's the lead security engineer at Hollard Insurance. We also have David Dolan, which is the technical lead I've forgotten the place where he actually works. But there's guys. I think I don't have to say it, any further. You can tell that it's a lot of good value. So, all right, let's get on with it. So we have miscellaneous, we have forensic, we have OSINT. So for OSINT, again, we're not interacting with the server. We're mostly, sort of taking something and doing something with it, right? So a lot of internal online research. And then something like Steg. So that is steganography. So this, again, you're downloading something from an S3 bucket, so you're not necessarily interacting with the server. And this is going to be cached using something called a CDN, Content Delivery Network. So again, I'm just going to do ETC here just so we don't have, we don't keep going. So the majority of these challenges are by design read-only. So which means you don't need direct interaction with the actual backend server, right? Now, this type of challenge where it's boot to root. So this is essentially where you're talking about OS level vulnerability. So this could be an application that is running on the OS that leads to an initial compromise. So we say initial compromise that leads to privilege escalation. That leads to flag, right? So this is essentially what this could look like. I'll probably say this leads to pivoting. So because pivoting, you need to go in from where you are when you land to where the flag is located. A lot of the times you can probably use in Linux, you can use utilities like find to find the information you're looking for. I'm sure this thing is going to hate what I'm doing. So I probably should do this so it doesn't hate me. All right, because I know Python is gonna hate the fact that I'm trying to run this with forgotten the name of the actual platform. Someone remind me. What is it called again? Jupyter Notebook. Yes, Jupyter Notebook. So just so he doesn't think that I'm actually trying to write Python code. So by design, this is obviously Python. So you can see the the IPYNB. So that's essentially what we're trying to do, guys. So now, what are our key problem statements, right? So you can choose to call the solution statements depending on who you ask, right? The first thing we want to do is we need to, well, let's say server build and configuration. So the next thing is latency. So for those who do not know what latency is, essentially, because the CTF is going to be international, we need to make sure that those who are in, say, Nigeria or Ghana are able to actually play along with us. So for that reason, we need to figure out where to host the CTF on AWS that will allow for at least an equal amount of latency, right? So for this one, the solution for it is we need to host it in Mumbai. So easy solution there. And then this, we're using CTFd here, hosted on AWS. And then the other thing we need to figure out is user registration, right? And group registration. So this should be handled. So typically you can actually have something like OAuth in here. And you can have OAuth and SSO. But in this case, this is not an enterprise, especially because we don't have a lot of time this year. So we're going to use the generic authentication that is built into CTFd for this year. But we're going to obviously do the research together to figure out what that looks like. And the fourth problem statement we have here, which technically solution statement, is how do we ensure that we can upload challenges easily. So challenge upload. Well, I would say challenge dev, development, and upload. So this will be handled using Docker. It's just the best way, easiest way to sort of do it, especially if you have multiple people contributing to the project all at the same time, right? And then the other thing we want is, once we've actually built it, we need SSL, and then we need SSL and Cloudflare. So we need Cloudflare to stand in front of it, simply for for caching. So SSL and caching. In this case, we need Cloudflare, and we also need Let's Encrypt. Guys, if you've never done this before, well, that makes the two of us. Guys, don't forget to also contribute, and by adding your comment into the comment section. We're going to be doing some of the challenges together. If you have not subscribed yet to the CyLynk YouTube channel, definitely go ahead and smash the subscription button and smash that like button, guys. This is live research. So what I'm trying to do here is essentially, begin with the end in mind. So one of the challenges that you would face when you're starting out your cybersecurity career is, where do I start? And by having a problem statement, or at least a solution statement, or at least what you want to see achieved, this allows you to sort of think backwards and know when you're doing things right and when you're not in the right direction and on the right path, right? So what else do we want? We also want domain name linking. So this essentially, I was explaining to you guys what this is. So the domain where this will be found will be ctf.hck4g.org. So this is the subdomain that this will be listed. So typically what we want is when someone goes to this subdomain, we want it to essentially be rerouted, the DNS to be rerouted back to the actual CTFd platform that we're hosting on AWS. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this. It's pretty straightforward, and it's actually really nice. Perhaps maybe one of the easiest part of the problem that we're trying to solve. All right. So now how do we begin? Now, how I would say is, so OS level initial apps. So I'm thinking in this case we have Linux and Windows. So those are the types of challenges that we're looking at. Now this is where the rubber meets the road. So this is the stuff that scares the living dead out of me, because so think about it, guys. Say you have like 1,000 people playing this challenge at the same time across the 3 different countries that we have. So if there is a challenge, say I don't know, like there's a challenge that requires you to actually log on to the host and then to solve it. And this challenge is perhaps something that requires for you to upload a reverse shell into the box. And then from that reverse shell, you get access to it. Well, it turns out that if you do that, some people might actually unintentionally upload the reverse shell and break the, something on the server, which means everyone else's, challenge experience becomes really, really bad. Additionally, obviously, when you have 1,000 people trying to literally access the same service at the same time, that is a tantamount to what you would call a distributed denial of service, especially because they're coming from multiple parts of the world. So you can sort of see how this obviously becomes problematic. All right, so you can see that we've got some big problems. So the solution I'm thinking in my mind, which I need to research, is how do we figure out a way to essentially do something called auto scaling on AWS or any other platform. So how this would work is, imagine if you sign into the CTFd platform, so ctf.hck4good.org, and then that sort of leads you when you click on launch a challenge that is a boot to root challenge, it leads you to have your own dedicated instance that is running on Docker or Kubernetes pod, or something of that nature. Again, I'm not an expert at Kubernetes nor Docker, and that's the whole point of this stream, is that we're going to learn this together. So you essentially want to be able to somehow bind that user, bind them to their own specific instance, so that they're not having to literally look at everyone else's challenge or experience the delays. And not only do you have to essentially auto scale this to like 500 people at the same time concurrently, you can see how this becomes like an infrastructural nightmare. You also want to be able to tear that down once they actually finish and solve the challenge, right? So you're essentially auto scaling and auto down scaling at the same time to ensure that you don't essentially run into thousands and thousands of dollars of AWS cost while the event is running, because this event is going to be running for 48 hours straight. So yes, guys, this is the initial problem statement. So you can see a lot of my pain actually lies here. This is what I'm still trying to figure out. So building challenges and hosting the CTF platform is probably not that hard. I'm going to show you guys how to actually research it. And as usual, the best thing to do when you're trying to do something like this is to actually go to the official documentation. So like I said to you guys, we're going to be using CTFd for this. And the best thing to do is to actually see what is CTFd. Now, before I get into this place, let's look at the overview of CTFd. Yes, thanks so much, Christian. Yes, absolutely. We obviously need to have AWS security groups, which is pretty much just like having a firewall to manage all of the different communications that is happening. And then we need to be able to open different port numbers for those different services that have been accessed. So here's an example. You cannot use port 80 to access a web server within the CTFd platform, because port 80 is already being used by the CTFd service itself. So you have to assign a different port number to that. Now that's not that much of a problem. Like you just need to create do like a dynamic port assignment for any time someone actually accesses it. So I think there's 65,335 different port numbers. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure. How many port numbers are there? Yeah, so 65,536. I was literally that off. Well, guys, there you have it. So what is CTFd? Like, for a lot of you guys who have perhaps played CTF before, you definitely have heard of CTFd before. If you have never heard of CTFd, don't worry. You are going to learn about it with me today. And also, we are, for those who have never played a CTF before, you're wondering, how do I even get started? Like, I'm worried that I might not necessarily be good at it. I want to personally tell you to not have to worry at all. You don't have to be an expert CTF player. In fact, just partaking in the challenge is fun enough. Now, to ensure that you're equally encouraged and ready and excited for the event, we are actually going to be running our monthly Hack for Good meetup that is going to be happening on the 29th of October. This is going to be a stone and chalk as usual, and it's going to be live streamed. Now, the reason we haven't obviously sent information about it is because we don't want it to overshadow the actual ticket sale that we're doing and all the publicity that we're doing for the actual event day itself. So if you're there, just keep that date saved. We're gonna send out an email about it middle of next week. So we're going to have a meetup, and that meetup is essentially going to be training people on how to play CTF. So we're going to have a few challenges that we will actually run you guys through to show you how to get started. So basic challenges that you can actually sort of use to get your feet wet. All right, let's get started. So CTFd is a capture the flag framework focusing on ease of use and customizability. That's very very American, right? Here in Australia, we say customizability with an S, customization. CTFd comes with most of the features needed by an event organizer to run a competition or workshop. In addition, if CTFd's feature set is insufficient, CTFd allows for the usage of plugins and themes to control almost aspect of how it works and behaves. So, guys, keep this in mind, right? So this essentially means that we can basically build our own theme. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time to do that. So we're going to be doing some research to figure out what other themes are out there that we can use. You can also buy some themes as well. Now, CTFd is used by many different clubs, universities, and companies to host their own capture the flags, while available on open source. So yes, that's a key information here. If this is your first time hearing about the term open source, it means that the source code of this platform is available open to everyone to be able to see it. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the software is free, even though sometimes that means that you can freely use it, but it just means that the source code is available for anyone to use. And if you're wondering what other open source platforms are out there, the perfect one would be the Unix kernel. So the Unix kernel, which is essentially what Linux operating systems are made up of, are open source. So which means if you're someone who really enjoys building an operating system, you could go and take the Linux kernel by Linux Torvald and actually build your own Linux distribution from there, or flavor of Linux, which is why we have Lint Linux, Kali Linux, even the one from Apple, right? And even WXL as well, right? It's Linux on Windows. It's all based on the Linux Unix kernel. All right. CTFd developers also provide a managed hosting service. So we're going to see what this looks like, right? So this is a live version of what CTFd looks like when you first host it, and this is with the default plugin and the default theme, I believe, that you need. And then obviously we can see how much this would cost if we wanted them to host it for us. Now, guys, this isn't anything different from what we're doing. What it actually allows us to do is it allows us to be able to host this on their own cloud environment without having to manage and deal with AWS ourselves. But that's not what we wanted to do. We're actually wanting to do this ourselves. And obviously, they help you out with a lot of the technical requirements that we've already listed. So a lot of this stuff that we see here, all of the problem statement we see, they'll probably have all of that done for you by default. And you just need to focus on building challenges and uploading them into the platform. So that's one of the benefits of doing that. Now, because we're a non-for-profit organization that doesn't have a lot of money yet, yes, please, if you're wondering, you can still go and donate right now. Click on buy. You can donate to actually support what we're doing here at Hack for Good. And obviously, we are launching the CyLynk, monthly subscription payment for you to be able to learn unlimited, and we have access to labs as well to learn. And a lot of that money that we get from CyLynk obviously goes back into Hack for Good as well to support the non-for-profit. All right, so these are the different types of hosting that we have. Now, we've gone through the basics of what CTFd is. The one thing I found interesting is where it talks about the themes. Where is that? I thought there was a hyperlink somewhere. All right, we're going to find out. Is there a way to buy themes? Store. There you go. So we can actually buy a theme here. So this is one of the themes here. There's another one, scripting. Let's see. So this looks more like Cyber Chef. Tools. Is there another? So this is learning theme. Is there another type? Oh, here, multiple choice challenge plugin. So this essentially allows us to be able to have like a, what is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, right? So this is essentially what this would give us the ability to do. Manual verification challenge plugin. So this essentially allows you to be able to put information for someone to check this on the back end. A lot of this stuff sort of begins to get interesting. And then we've got the hacker theme. This is $30, and this essentially allows you to have like the cool CTFd look. You guys can see here. I'm sure a lot of you guys would have seen this in other platform as well. So we're probably going to have that, and then obviously you can have the t-shirt. By the way, guys, we are soon going to be launching a swag shop as well for you guys to be able to buy some of this shirt as well. But I definitely recommend we need that, so we need to buy that. And I think that's about it. We don't need the manual challenge, and we don't need the multiple choice. So a lot of the challenges would essentially just be you entering a, what is it? A flag. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we need to just to add information there simply around different types of attacks and cybercrime. I think I will actually have to think about this, because I think the idea of having some question type challenges that is teaching people about cybercrime in general would actually not be a bad idea. I didn't even think that this was possible. So hey, there you go, guys. This is why we are doing some of this research here together. All right. So now you're wondering, how do you get started? So what I'll probably do is to look at the getting started. If you notice, I'm using the official documentation for CTFd on purpose. Now, it doesn't mean that I cannot just go online and maybe go on something like YouTube, or go on Google and just type that, or use AI. The reason I would recommend using the official documentation is that they are more likely to keep this up to date, and they are the creator of the content, so they generally have more information about the soft piece of software that they've created than anyone else on the internet. Like, literally, guys, I kid you not, by researching how to build CTFd, I've read so many different options out there. So setting up, you've got the admin. Upon creating the admin account, you will be redirected a different homepage. Now, a lot of this seems to be talking about the hosted version. Starting CTFd. After navigating to the CTFd after platform, you will set up a page where you can choose the name of the capture the flag and credential for the first name. All right. So adding your first challenge. Multiple choice. Obviously, in this case, you would need all of this stuff to be able to, you need a plugin for it. Here you can give your challenge a name, a point value, a description, add any associated files, and then a flag. So you can also add a new page as well. So you can see here you've got multiple pages. So this would essentially be sort of having some redirection back to Hck4Good website. So we can maybe have a new page that kind of hyperlinks back to the research page. And then maybe we can have some things about prizes in here, a page about prizes, and then a page to read more about cybercrime and how to ensure that you don't get involved in that, and how to hack for good instead. So that looks good. Saving your PDF, your CTF. So CTFd also supports importing and exporting CTFs, allowing you to reduce the content. So this is exactly what I was talking about, guys. So import and export CTF from the admin panel. So remember how I said it's best to sort of keep everything in Docker. That way we can literally just pick it up and upload. So in this case, you can also use, from here you can click an export button as well as zip file. Conversely, you can obviously import a saved CTF. So we will probably be doing that just in case we have any issues on the day. So we have a backup, so we can essentially get back the challenge running within an hour or so. It's generally dependent on what the goals for your event is. As some examples, so competitive event generally lasts 48 hours. So that's essentially what that one is running for. So the time over a weekend, Friday, Saturday, introductory event, generally event intended for new younger CTF players, lasts longer than public competitive event. Introductory event typically lasts a minimum of 2 weeks, but can often go for a month. So in this case, we're running this only for two days. Company workshop, so that's not what we're doing. Flag format. So for us, our flag format would look like this. flag format. So it'll be Hck4G common, and then say no. If I can type to cyber crime, but Hck4G instead. So this is essentially what the flag will look like. And a lot of the flags will essentially have information like this. Obviously, we have the situation where this flag can be base64 encoded, right? So if we do, is this partial? Yeah, it is partial. I think this is, what's the command for? Is it get? No, I think, is it get? No, it's not. Let me see. Command to base64 encode impartial. So there is an easy one-liner here, so that I've used multiple times, so I'm not sure why I can't find it. I don't want a full script, guys. I just need a single one-liner. 12 years ago, jeez. System encode. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't want that. There's a very simple one-liner for this. I just don't remember where it is. Yeah, I get it. Thank you. System.unicode get string from base64 string. I guess we can do this and see. But this is not what I'm looking for. There used to be a one-liner. Oops. Did not want you to run the command. Yikes. So in this case, we want our string to go in here. Guys, don't mind me. There's definitely a quicker way to do this, which is essentially using CyberChef. So just 100% ignore me here. So we've got that saved to this variable called encode text. Now what we are essentially doing here is we're saying we're essentially creating another variable, and we're using that variable to essentially decode the text that we've saved. So that's essentially what the next thing is. Something was wrong. What happened? Exception calling from base64 string with one argument input is not a valid base64 string. It contains a non-base64 character. Oh yeah, right. Okay, so that's essentially decoding it. My bad. So we should be encoding it here first. So technically, convert to base64 Unicode. Ah, right. I see. So probably. Thanks, Christian. I appreciate that. So probably best to do this. So for the sake of it, this always does my head in. So we have, so imagine if we do this. Essentially, so this is where we chuck in our text. So this is the byte Unicode, and then this is for, so we're essentially converting that to byte, and then we're encoding that, and then encoding text, and now we can essentially go into the next one. So this is essentially where we then convert that into base 64 here. So that should solve our problem. So let's see. Like I said, I'm just being a stubborn person with this, trying to also. Oh well, that makes sense. I might as well just create a file for that and call it so let's call this. So we're creating a new file, and that file is called encode. Oh, sorry guys, I'm not showing you what I'm doing. Encode.ps1. So if we go to a new file, and then we call that file, so paste that in here. Not now. So now if we save this as, so we can go back in here and save it inside of Hck4Good and call it encode. .ps1. So one of the things that can happen is this, like when you try to create a normal text file as PS1, it'll, like there's a hidden .text extension that you cannot find or that you're not aware of. So you often want to take a look at that. All right, so we've got this running. Now we can obviously execute that. So we just need to go back a few directories. Thank you. And then cd Hck4Good. And then go to CTFd. So there you go. That's essentially what you see in there. So one way to do this is encode. So it's unauthorized access. Interesting. Do I need? All right. So we need execution policy bypass. So anyone who's done OSCP here will probably get what I'm trying to do here. Partial execution policy bypass. So what we need here is set policy dash bypass. There's an easier version of that I'm looking for. There you go. So that's what I mean. And then we go back to VS Code. Now, obviously, this is one way to do this. Another way to do this is to essentially open an administrative PowerShell terminal. So I should probably then run the command here. Encode. I still have issues. What argument is it expecting? So the first character there is this. just for the sake of it, I'll make that a double quote rather than that. Let's see. And save that. And run it again. There you go. So guys, if you notice what happened, that was not when I copied it from Stack Overflow. For some reason, Visual Studio Code actually converted that into a tilde. Is it a tilde? Does anyone know what that is called? This character on your keyboard. I'm not quite sure how to actually describe it. Ironically, I cannot make that character again because it's technically supposed to. It's trying to be a single quote, but I think it ended up being like a tilde. Is it called a tilde? Christian, do you know what that is? Yeah, I think someone calls it. I think it's a tilde too. I have no idea what that is called in theory. I always forget it. Wait, right, there you go. That's what a tilde is. So what is this called? So this is like I started using this in my OSCP days because you can technically use it to run a command in Linux and other systems as well. So I've forgotten what it's actually called. What is that key on the keyboard? They know the one on the left hand side. Pardon me. On the left hand side of your keyboard, right underneath the escape key. If you hold the shift button and then press it, so it's the opposite of the tilde button. So I think this is the tilde this is the tilde key. So if you hold the shift press that button, it should come in there. But without that, it should give you this this command. Like I don't know what it's called. Well, let's Google it. Oh, what is the backtick? That's it. That is it. Thanks, guys. Oh boy, I told you guys it's a learn with me session. It's a backtick. Thank you. So what ended up happening was, for some reason, VS Code converted that to some weird character. So this no longer appeared as a string. So when we changed it and saved it, that worked. Yes, guys, thank you. I know now that is not a tilde. Well, now we have successfully written a simple PowerShell code by copying and pasting from the interweb where every single knowledge is stored. Like, who needs ChatGPT when you have Stack Overflow? Who needs ChatGPT? I think there should be a meme for that. Who needs ChatGPT when you have a bro, some bro on Stack Overflow? So typically, this is what you might get in your, like, I don't know. So we've been able to convert this to basis. Thanks, Christian. I know you did recommend something a bit earlier, but I wanted to make sure that people actually see that learning experience, right? Learning, like, I don't know if you guys have also seen some YouTube tutorials where everything is so made perfectly, and you're often you're left wondering, surely life is not always this perfect. So, like, literally someone is doing a tutorial and they've done the tutorial before, and then they're just showing you the finished product, just kind of running you through it, and you're going, I know surely this is not the first time you're doing this, right? This is essentially what I'm trying not to do. So here we have it, guys. We now have our flag. So this is what the flag you guys will see on the CTF day on the platform. So this is the flag, what the flags will look like. We need to make sure we have our query brace closed. So what this means is that if you essentially see one of the challenge, you solve one of the challenges, whether that be one of the Jeopardy read-only challenges, and you see something like this, you actually have to go and base 64 decode it. So we've already seen how you can base 64 decode from the same place that we found this. So the same thing, we can literally just copy this, right? So we save the output of that into another variable. So this is how you, for those who are not aware of, this is how you create a variable in PowerShell, and then we save the value of it to this, and then we decode it. So that's literally it. That's also essentially what you need to do. I know there's another way where you actually just pass the text inside of the one-liner. I just can't find it at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. So that's why we're this basis for encoding them, because you actually have to work hard. Now, here's a tip for a lot of you guys who are here. Oh, thanks so much. Great to have you, Hck4G Cyber. Who is Hck4G Cyber? Show yourself. We need someone. We need a doxing victim. today. So QR Cyber, do you want to be the doxing victim of today? Today's live stream, NerdKnight. Well, hopefully you want to. If not, you can, if you do want to, you can send us your home address. If not, definitely do not. Guys, I feel like we can do with a bit of music for this. I don't know if you guys can hear this. So I'm going to attempt to play some music from artist.atlas.io. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Well, it says it's pause. Can you loop it? I wonder if you can. Guys, let me know if you can hear this. I'm trying to make sure that the sound is as quiet as possible. Can everyone hear the music? I don't know if you guys can. Perfect. You know who I am. I was a CyberCon. Thanks very much. That's a very good guess. I really appreciate it. Now you've given me all the hints I need in the whole world. Forget the fact that there was more than 3,000 people at CyberCon. So I don't know who it is, who that is. But thank you very much for showing up. I do appreciate it though. It's good. It's good. It's good. Thanks for coming. All right, guys. I think we've kind of gotten carried away a little bit, but I'm showing you guys what it is we're building and how all of that works. So we've gone through what the basics of CTFd is and how it works and who, I actually have no idea who built it. Interesting. So who's the creator of CTFd? Let's do some Googling or doodling, however way you want to say it. Oh, his name is Kelvin Chung. Shout out to you, Kelvin. Wherever you are, you're my bro. Well done, buddy. Because without you, I will have to be building my own CTF platform from scratch. Which, I don't know if you guys know, would not be a great idea right now when we have literally less than 4 weeks to go with Hck4G CTF. So yeah, not very fun. All right, guys, let's actually get building. So what I'll do is, for the sake of it, I'm just going to log on into the AWS instance and show you guys how to, spin off an EC2 instance. So I told you guys that's essentially what we're going to do. I'm going to log on outside of the screen so you guys don't steal my AWS root key or root password, whatever that word is. So for all the prying eyes out there who's trying to hack me, I don't know wherever you are, whether in Juba or I don't know or Zhejiang province, or you're in Accra, Ghana, or in Melbourne, Australia, or regional Australia in middle of nowhere trying to hack into my account. Sorry, not today. I am hiding my crown jewel away. All right, let's do some MFA. Yes, guys, because I am very smart with security. I do have MFA on my AWS, so yes. Okay, let's go. Nah. Christian, toy is for. I was gonna say toys for losers. I was gonna say nah. We don't do toy here. All right, let's go. Where's that MFA? Let's get the MFA going. Yeah, I see you. Oh, that's cool. Famous last word. We wouldn't do that. Yes. I am definitely gonna trust you with my AWS instance. When I get the AWS bill at the end of the month, I will literally be like, oh, but he said he wouldn't do it. Like they said they would be nice and kind to me. How dare they? like this lady, what's her name? Greta Thunberg. How dare you? All right, guys. Okay, I've got it in. So let's see what we have here. So when you log on into AWS, this is what you see for the first time. So for those who have not ever played with AWS before, so this is the AWS console. So you guys are going to see how much money I've been spending, burning my cash. Guys, startup life, I can tell you right now, is not very fun. There's a lot of back and forth, and you typically don't start with making money. Yes, Christian, thank you so much. All right, guys. I think we've got another music to play. Surely there's something out there. You know, there was one song that is very what is it? Very cowboyish. I'll see if I can get it for you guys. My laptop is literally screaming because of that. Oh no, sorry guys, that was very loud. All right, there you go. That should be better. All right, so this is what you see typically. What I typically recommend, like what we did talk about before, is as part of our requirement doc and as part of you know, what we want to build. And you guys already know why we're making the choice to use Mumbai. Is because we have people playing from, you know, I don't know, like you know, Google Earth. Let's see. Let's show you guys. I feel like Google Earth is really heavy. So I don't know if I have enough RAM to deal with it, to be honest. Map of the world. Yes. I wonder how many people are you know, Googling, you know, that word. All right, guys, I think everyone kind of knows that there's this whole new thing about, you know, how, you know, some continents are made to look small while others are made to look big. Some political stuff, but I'm sure, you know, there's some merit to it. But we're just going to look at the actual map itself just so I can show you guys what's happening. So obviously, here's where we are. For those who are wondering, this is Melbourne, Australia. So this is where I am. But if you're wondering, where did I come from? Where was I originally from? It's from here. So for those who are going to be playing with us, we have people from Nigeria who are playing with us. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria, right here at the edge of the Pacific Ocean. Sorry guys. I do not know my seas. It's the South Atlantic Ocean, not the Pacific Ocean. So I grew up here, and then we have people who are obviously playing here in Ghana, in Accra. So shout out to BR CTF guys. BR CTF is happening, I think next week or the week after. So shout out to them. They are one of our partners in Ghana. So I'll show you guys who they are. So if you Google BR CTF and you just Google it, so they're doing some incredible work. Shout out to Jervin. So Jervin is a good business partner. So he's a great guy. And if you want to be part of this, you can actually go and register. They're obviously way ahead of us because they've been running this for 3 years, but they do incredible work. And BR CTF is actually quite globally renowned for putting on a really good show every single year. So shout out to them. They are based here in Ghana. And then we have, obviously, I'm from here. So we've got people playing from here and from here. And then typically maybe other African countries as well, potentially Botswana and Namibia. I have no idea where Botswana and Namibia is. Oh, here's Namibia, here's Botswana. There you go, guys. I do know my African you know, map. So if we're here and they're there, and we're trying to figure out a way that we for us to run a CTF challenge together, we need to figure out a way to actually put it all together, right? For everyone to sort of get equal sort of latency. So latency is essentially the amount of time it takes for a packet to travel from one end to another, and attenuation is essentially the amount of you know, network traffic or packets you lose along the way. So in this case, we're wanting to sort of, you know, put things smart band here. So there's an AWS region that is right here. So that's essentially somewhere between Australia and Africa as well. And obviously, if anyone is playing from, say, I don't know, from China, they can also sort of, you know, partake in this as well. They'll probably be a lot closer to Mumbai, but you know, like, it's not a big deal. But I figured to use Mumbai because it's sort of like a middle ground between those who are playing from Africa and those who are in Australia. All right, Lagos, you can see the ocean all the time. Yes, you can. Like, literally, I grew up in an island, so you have to cross multiple bridges to go into the mainland. Of a cowboy, Karen J and Carlin, big enough. I think that's the music, yeah? Is that the name of the music? I don't know, guys. It is definitely just El Shine or whatever it is. I don't know. The guy who stayed at 70, right? Okay, thanks so much. All right, guys. Now you can see why we wanted to host Athene in Mumbai. So once you've logged onto your AWS console, guys, you can actually get access to AWS and be able to launch instances for free. AWS has changed the way things are they changed it quite earlier this year. I think it's in June. So before, I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Before you used to be able to launch 2 gig EC2 instances like T2 Micro or something like that. But I think they've changed it. But anyways, guys, this is why we're using Mumbai as a region. So there is obviously three different ways to create an instance on AWS. So you can either create it from the AWS management console, which is what we've got right here in front of us, or you can essentially use something called an infrastructure as code. So something like Terraform, Kubernetes, or what is it? Or Pulumi. Pulumi is a really well-known one. So Pulumi lets you actually use the programming language that you already know to be able to provision resources on AWS. So like, yeah, some really cool stuff. So let's actually see. Do we have any EC2 instances running already? So if you click on EC2 instances, you go to view dashboard, and then that should show us if we've got something running already. So we don't have anything running, but if we go in there, we should potentially have maybe one. So we don't have any EC2 instances in running state, so we don't care about this. Let's get rid of it. So we have something that is in T2 micro. Again, guys, we're going to build this in T2 micro. I'm going to build another one just for the sake of you guys, so you can see how we do this from the very start. So let's launch an instance. Another thing you can do before I launch an instance on AWS is you can actually use an instance that's already running as like a snapshot or a blueprint to spin up another EC2 instance. So if you right click on this and you go to action, so you can go to image template. So create image, create a template from instance, right? So you can also launch more like this. So essentially this kind of allows you to sort of, mimic what you would call auto scaling, but auto scaling from ClickOps, right? So that's a very sad way to put it. Guys, all right, let's see. All right, is there a way you can, change this to just keep playing? I don't know. I do apologize, guys, if the music is too loud. I'm trying to see. For those who want to, jam with me as well later, I'm going to send you guys the link to this song. Interesting fact about Namibia. I have no idea. I'm catching up with a guy from Namibia tomorrow, so on Monday actually. So that should be fun. All right, guys, let's not get carried away. It's already past 10, so we want to create an EC2 instance. Obviously, something called an AMI image, so Amazon Machine Image. There's different types here. You can obviously use Amazon Linux if you wanted, or Mac OS if you want to build Mac OS on AWS. Who cares? No one wants to use Mac OS on AWS. Famous last words. Or you can just do Windows or Red Hat. Or SUSE Linux or Debian. So in this case, look, let's just keep this simple. Don't get too carried away. Let's just do a free, free tier T2 Micro Ubuntu server, which is the 24.0 LTS, stuff. And then let's change this architecture to 64 or 82 or 86. So this is the processor architecture. I'll leave this the way it is because I don't have any really new need to change it. Now you can obviously change from a free tier, which is T2 Micro, to something that's paid. So a T2 Nano, that's weird. That's even smaller than T2 Micro. That's weird. Anyway, so you can go to T2 Small, which has 2 gig RAM, and this sort of gives you a bit more kick. But for the sake of this demonstration, and this is one of the key things, guys, that's really cool is you can actually start your lab with the T2 Micro, and then eventually you can actually upgrade the RAM. So because the RAM is not persistent storage, you can literally just shut down your EC2 instance and increase the RAM later once you actually want to run things further off. So in this case, we're just going to spin that off, and we're going to use an existing security group that I've already created. So we're going to call it Launch Wizard. And this security group, I'm going to show you guys what that kind of does. Maybe I'll just create a new one just for the sake of it because I don't want to show you guys my home IP address. So let's create a new one, create a new security group, and then allow SSH and HTTPS. Now, in terms of the AWS Elastic Storage, so the EBS, how many gigs do we want to do? So we can see free tier customers, eligible customers can get up to 30 gigs. So this allows us to essentially be able to, run about a 30 gig storage without having to pay for it. So there we go. I think the rest of the stuff that we need here is I would like to attach a key pair, an AWS key pair, so I can actually SSH to the box. So there should be a place for me to do that. There you go. So CTF, there should be 2. Let's do that one. You can also create a new key pair. So guys, this is basically like an SSH private and public key that it creates, and that allows you to be able to log onto the box via SSH without having to provide a password. So it'll just use the SSH file. All right, guys, I think that's everything we need. Let's go ahead and launch that EC2 instance, and that should do the trick for us. Cool. So our new EC2 instance has been launched. And it is running, so updated in 1 minute. So if we go back to the EC2 instance dashboard, this should kind of tell us if one is running or not. And if there's none running, you can always refresh, because sometimes it takes a bit to actually start running. So in this case, we don't have anything running yet, but it should automatically start running. So that's interesting. Oh, it's in the running state. So why wasn't it showing it there? So this is why you often want to go take a look again. Oh, there you go. So it took it a second to update. Guys, you're definitely not a captive audience, so feel free to obviously contribute more as well. If there's anything you want me to try, definitely go ahead and do that. I'm going to play something else, but make sure that I reduce the volume this time around so I don't blow someone's eardrums out. Oh no, it doesn't let me reduce the volume until you press play. This is so bad. So guys, this is Go Cowboy by Moon. Can it go any lower? No, well, probably not. All right, so we've got our EC2 instance. Now we've got an IP address. So guys, remember this IP address, because this is the IP address we're going to need to modify our DNS record to point to this when someone goes to. So right now, if you go to CTFd, so obviously this is not clickable yet because we haven't actually built it. So let's say you go to CTF.hck4G.org. See, like it just takes you to the default, hosting platform page that we're using for this. It doesn't actually take you to stuff. So what we need to do is to point this to the IP address we can see here in the EC2 instance. So that way it all works. All right, guys, let's actually connect to the EC2 instance we just built. So we're going to connect to it via SSH. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to do that using PowerShell. I feel like this one is a bit too loud. Can I get it lower? All right, so what I do want to do is I need to navigate to where that private key that I downloaded is. The SSH key is. So let's find out. Where is my SSH key? So it should be in here. Downloads. It's inside of backup. CyLynk. No. And then I want Hck4G, and then I want CTFd directory. So there we go. So we've got that in there. So now we can actually post this, and this should get us SSH access into it. So we accept the SSH fingerprint, and voila, guys, we've got into our EC2 instance. Sorry, guys, we made it eventually. it felt like it was going to be forever. So from here, the one thing we want to do is we need to essentially go and fork or clone the SSHD platform. The CTFd platform. So what I would go to is I'll go to installation. So going to there is obviously what is it? API sort of thingy that you can use for this. But I'll just go back to the original homepage because there's something there about getting started and tutorial. So let's see. So there was one called installation. I could almost bet you I saw one that had installation in there. There you go, this one. So we don't want a hosted CTFd instance. So the easiest way to get started is to use the hosted CTFd instance. Guys, remember this is the one that required us to be able to pay for it because we don't want to do that. the easiest thing we want to do here is essentially install Docker, and then install Docker Compose, clone the CTFd repository into there, and then modify the CTFd in the Compose YAML to change the secret key, of the upload folder, and then essentially the database and whatnot. So in this case, we should be all good. File for the repository to specify secret key environment for the CTFd service. Why do we need a secret key? I don't know. So what is that secret key for? So one thing to do is to Google that, but let me see if I can sort of hack it. You can also run head var random CTFd secret key within the CTFd report to generate a CD. Interesting. So what is this secret key? What is it used for? We don't want to use Vagrant. So guys, Vagrant is another infrastructure as code platform that is only on-prem, so you cannot use it on the cloud. Well, at least according to the last time I took a look. All right, guys. There's a lot of cool songs. Shout out to Nathan Kerner, who obviously found a lot of these songs. I'm really bad at finding good songs. Guys, if you guys hanging around with me, I might introduce you guys to some nice jam that I'm good at finding. But for now, let's stick to Nathan's list. So shout out to Nathan for finding this. Sorry for the eardrum again. I think I posted in time. No, I did not. It's a shame there is no way for you to sort of repeat these songs, right? Because it'd be nice so I don't have to keep going back. All right, so in this case, what is CTFd secret key used for? No AI, guys, no AI. All right, okay, that makes sense. So the secret key value used to use some grammatical error here. The secret key used to create sessions and sign-in strings. So this should be set to a random string. In the interest of ease, CTFd would automatically create a secret key file for you. If you wish to add this secret key to your instance, you should hard code this value to a random static value. You can also remove CTFd secret key from the git ignore file and commit this file into whatever repository you are using. So the one thing to probably do here is to maybe use an environment variable for this, so that way even if you commit this code into GitHub or something like that, you're not like kind of making that CTFd secret key public to the world. So if you have a look back here where it says to attach a secret key, imagine if we actually change this into a variable, an environment variable. So that environment variable would essentially be where the secret key is stored. So guys, I'm going to tear the environment down that we're building right now. So I'm going to just generate a random secret key for the sake of it. All right, guys, let's actually go ahead and install. So let's go. Before we clone this, let's actually install Docker. So get Docker in Linux. All right. So what do we want to run? So we've got Ubuntu. Yes. So sudo apt install genome terminal. So it needs a terminal window for this. If you're not using genome, you must install genome terminal. Interesting. I have no idea if I am, but just for the sake of it, so we don't get carried away, we'll go ahead and install that. And we say yes to that. So it's doing its thing. My only concern is that because we don't have a lot of space and RAM on this box, that we might actually do too much and it basically just buckle. A quick tip here. Shout out to obviously someone who taught me this. I don't remember who it was. You can actually chain a lot of Linux commands. So rather than just sort of running it one line at a time, you can essentially do something like this. I'll show you guys. So, and this is essentially where you can sort of create a file that does this. So imagine for this now, you basically just need to chuck that into the same line. Why is that insert? There you go. Get rid of that. And then and so this essentially allows you to be able to run a one-liner. So we're going to copy that. So at the end of the installation process, app displays an error due to installing a downloaded package. You can ignore this error. That's fine. By default, Docker is installed on app Docker desktop. Launch Docker desktop. So the post installation script sets the capability on the Docker desktop, binary to map privilege ports and set resources limit. Add a DNS name for Kubernetes to EC2 host. Create a CyLynk. So a CyLynk, if you those who are not aware of in Linux, is essentially a reference file that points to another file, or something that points to another thing. It could be a file or a process or a daemon. This is because the classic Docker CLI is installed on Docker. So Docker Desktop Installer also installs the Docker CLI binary that includes cloud integration capabilities, and is essentially a wrapper for the Compose thing. A lot of English words. So let's actually go ahead and do what we just saw now. The dev package includes a post install script that completes additional setup sets automatically. So we don't have to do anything to do this. So it's just telling us what it's doing in the backend. Let's go back and do that. Uh-oh, what happened? Failed to fetch. Interesting. What happened? Not found an IP address. Well, it got this one. Uh-oh. All right, let's do that. Apt get update tac fix missing. Guys, this happens sometimes when hang on. Yep, typo. So it could not open lock. Permission denied. Seriously, do I have to sudo this? So sometimes the AMI image might not necessarily have all the different updated package libraries for Linux or Unix that it needs to be able to fetch data into. So by running sudo apt updates apt get update tac fix tac missing, it basically just essentially updates the Linux library. So because of that issue, we're just gonna run that other command again. It's 500 megabyte, like it's huge. There you go. Guys, look at that. I'm a hacker. Oh my goodness. Yep, so that's correct. That's completed. So let's run the next command. Sudo apt update, sudo apt install Docker desktop. So this is trying to install Docker. We haven't actually downloaded Docker, so hang on, wait. Something is not right. Yeah, there you go. So is it apt repository? Aha. Can I just do apt get install Docker? That would be cool. So I don't want to have to do this. All right, let's do this. This is going to suck if this doesn't work. I don't even know if I have wget or curl in here. Oh yes, thanks Christian. I don't think I do have any of those. So we do have wget. So wget, let's see, make a new directory and call this directory CTFd, and then cd into CTFd. And then wget. Let's look at what options we have. So that is crazy long, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, we need an output file, so yes, that's fine. What else do we need? Ignore false file, false HTML. No variables, we don't care about that. Is there anything here about SSL? Ignore. No proxy, that's fine. We don't need to use a password. So this is essentially if you need to log onto the platform and provide a username and password, so you can do that. And you can also actually run a command from wget. That's cool. So address extension, we don't care about that. So this should be HTTPS only, certificate file. We don't need that. So SSL certificate is ignore. And then what about the user agent? I'm sure if I just run a wget and point it to a file, it should be fine. So let's see. Uh-oh. And then what is the extension of this file? So desktop source. When I try to download it, what does it have? So it's, let's call it exactly the same name. I just want to copy the text, nothing more. Just in case there's a reference of that name somewhere in that file that it requires to be able to do its thing. So I don't want to ruin it. Go away. So what I'll do, just like we saw, is I'll do a tag O, and then paste that name. Uh-oh, I did not copy the D. Now, just to confirm that what we need is an O to save to an output. It's capital O. Oh no. Yeah, it's redirecting. I think there's a way to follow redirect in here. It might be a lot easier to just Google this than scrolling through a mountain load of documentation. All right, let's see. We don't need you anymore, word map. We don't need you partial anymore either. So close this, conserve RAM. How to follow redirect with wget. By default, surely. It might be a lot easier to just download this using that's content on content. Okay. Now I'm just going to, even though I recommended we follow the official installation process for Docker using the documentation, I'm finding this annoying and we don't have a lot of time. So is there a better way to set up of the install using the apt repository? So apt install curl. It might be easier to do this. All right, install Docker package. Yeah, so this is a lot easier. So what we're doing is we're essentially adding a Docker's official. I think it's key, and then we're also installing certificate curl. I don't think that's curl. I think that's different. But I'll see if it actually ended up using curl somewhere here. I don't think so. So that's done. Good. Now we go to the next one, which is this. Latest. And then let's see. Yes. Yeah, Christian, I was going to do the app install Docker, but I wasn't sure if it was going to download the latest one because I'm not sure what app has what is it package library. So I wanted to use the official stuff in here for that. So that's the interesting thing. But we've just installed Docker. So let's see system control Docker. Not sure what happened there. I lost my comment section. How does one get back the comment section? Open panel. Well, I guess you can close it and start again. My videos. Give me a second, guys. I'm just getting this ready. I think I have one more song to show you guys. Maybe a few more. I don't know. Yikes. There's definitely a weird command that I run that closed it, which means I can no longer see the comments you guys are adding. Interesting. Let me Google this. On the computer, click on the comment section on the video. Yeah, I've done that already. Anyone is not showing. Check the creator settings. The video creator, close the page. Check your account settings. Private cache. Interesting. Oh, there you go. That's back. Not sure what happened there. Guys, we've been going for almost 2 hours. How is that even possible? Like, it certainly doesn't feel like it. But I think we've achieved one thing. So we can see that we've actually installed Docker. I'm not sure why it's running system control under sudo command. Like, I'm surprised. I don't know why, but let's see. So Docker is running and it's active. Oh, guys, here's this trick that I learned. So you could actually have a service that is running, but it's not enabled. So like this one caught me off by chance. I don't know what exam it was that I was writing where I installed a new service and I forgot to actually enable it. And even though I could start and stop the service, it wasn't actually working properly. Now, one of the other things it also does is that if it's not enabled, it means that when the computer restarts, that service will not automatically start. So anyways, there has something new for you guys to learn. Let's close that. So we've run that first command. Well, some systems may have this behavior disabled and we require a manual start. So the service is already running. We don't need to do that. So sudo docker run hello world just to see. What? Yeah, there you go. So it's working. So if we do Docker, I have no idea what we're doing. Running Docker as right. So it installed itself as sudo. That's why. So we can see that we don't have any container images running yet. So Docker PS, that's the command to check that. Reminding me back in my security engineering days. Seriously, guys. So I still have it somewhere. All right, we've done that. Install from a package. So we've already solved this problem. So let's go back to CTFd 3. Now we need to install Docker Compose. Interesting. Who knew there was a million things to install? So what? Commercial use of Docker desktop in large enterprises, more than 250 employees or more than requires a bit. Well, we are nowhere close to that. All right, so let's see Ubuntu again, and then general system requirements to the app. Yeah, we've done that already. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Hang on. It's trying to literally get us to do exactly the same thing. So what's the difference between Docker Compose and Docker? Compose install. Well, this is why it's a learning session, all right? Medium saves the day with AI flop. Thank you very much, Medium. Hey, go away. Hey there, ever wondered how to make your development process smoother and more efficient? Definitely doesn't read very much like AI. Today we are diving into two powerful tools, Docker and Docker Compose. Imagine you have a magical box that can hold anything you need. This box is not just any box. It keeps everything organized and ready to use whatever you need, whenever you need it. Whether it's your your toys, your books, or snacks, they are all neatly stored in this box. In the world of software development, Docker is like that magical box that helps you keep things nice and neatly sorted out. It's a platform that helps developers package their applications along with all the necessary dependencies, libraries, and configuration into a single unit called a container. This makes the application portable and ensures it runs consistently across different environments, right? Think of a lunchbox. You pack your sandwich, apple, juice box, all in one container. When it's lunchtime, you don't have to search for your food all over the place. Everything is in your lunchbox, ready to eat. Yum, yum. All right, now let's take this a step further. Imagine you're running a big picnic with your friends. You need more than just your lunchbox. You need a basket with sandwiches, drinks, fruits, and maybe some games too. You want everything to be ready and set up together when you reach the picnic spot. Docker Compose is like the picnic basket for Docker containers. So it's like the higher level. It's a tool that allows you to define and manage multiple Docker containers simultaneously. With Docker Compose, you can set up, link, and run multiple containers as a single service. Interesting. This actually brings me, guys, to exactly the issue that I told you guys we're going to have. So with Docker Compose, I reckon that might actually be some of the solutions to the problem of boot to root challenges. Interesting. All right. I think we'll do more research about that and come back to it later. But for now, let's actually figure out how to install it. So we don't have to keep reading that. So we've kind of figured out what Docker and Docker Compose is. So Docker is the is the lunchbox, and Docker Compose is the school bag that can carries more than one lunch boxes. Guys, are you loving my my continuation of that use of analogy that they did there? All right. Thanks so much, everyone. I genuinely want to take a break here to thank every single person who is kind of stuck through. If you did watch this live stream and you were part of it, do not forget to send an email. I'm literally just requesting for us to send you a free ticket to Hck4G 2025 on the 15th of November. The CTF, which is essentially what I'm trying to build the platform for, on the 13th and the 14th, are 100% free. So you don't have to pay for that. That is 100% free, and it's across Africa. And guys, we have CompTIA, Security Blue Team, LPI, all sponsoring the event. So there's going to be free certification vouchers for BTL1. There's going to be free certification voucher for Security Plus, Cyza Plus, and Pentest Plus. And there's going to be free security, free certification voucher from LPI for LPI1, LPI2, LPI3, security virtualization, container security. Guys, this is amazing. Do not miss out. Go right now. Buy your ticket for Hck4G 2025. And if you obviously showed up to have fun with me today and learn with me, you are eligible to a free ticket. All I ask you to send an email to ctf@hck4g.org. CTF at, what that actually spells as ctf@hck4g.org. And our team will reach out to you with a free voucher for you to buy the ticket for 100% complete free. And additionally, all we ask of you is that you post on LinkedIn that you're coming to Hck4G. That's all. That is literally, guys, you get a free ticket worth $120 for absolutely free. All you do is just give us a rep online to say thank you. All right, guys, let's continue. If you're still here and you're still hanging out with me, you know that we're not done with this yet. There's still a lot to do. Look, yeah, thanks so much, Christian. Thanks for coming along, my friend. Have a good night. Guys, I'm going to keep going, but do not. If you want to keep going with me, guys, we've had a mega nerd night before that went for 3.5 hours. So today might be a mega nerd night. It's looking like it might be a mega nerd night. So yes, hang around with me if you've got a bit of time. Let's continue to learn together. But if you need to go get some sleep because you're a teenager or something, I don't know, you need your sleep. One of those people that sleep for 12 hours nonstop. If you need that, then I would not be the guy who come between a dude or a lady, between he or her and their sleep. So definitely go ahead and get some rest and be recharged for over the weekend, so you can be available to your friends and family over the weekend. But as for me, I am going to be here till done. Guys, I'm joking. But anyways, I'm going to be here. Like, that's how we roll. Like, we don't tire, right? We don't give up. This is it. This is how we do it. Cool. Cheers, buddy. Oh, yeah, definitely. Christian, you definitely need to go, answer to the wifey before you sleep in the garage tonight. You'll be like, all right, you're going on the couch or the garage. Hopefully it's the couch at least. The Muzzies don't have to bite you. All right, guys, we need to figure out how to actually install Docker Compose. Or did that command already do that before when we chose the other one? So that's the interesting thing here. So now we know that there's a difference between Docker Compose and Docker. So this is Compose. Let's go ahead and figure out how to actually get it going again. So Docker Desktop versus Docker Engine, General System, KVM. So it doesn't actually say Compose anymore when I click on that button. That's my problem. Like, what if installation of Docker Compose? How Compose works? Why use Compose? History. So if you've already installed Docker Desktop, you can check which version of Compose you have. Oh. Interesting. So I think this actually installs it automatically. Let's see. Maybe this is solved the problem for us, guys. Oh no, I got disconnected. Too much rambling, guys. Too much rambling. Do not tell me that I have a problem here. I figured it wouldn't work. I don't know why. The Docker menu. So I think you can literally just find out what version of Docker is installed by doing Docker v version. Yeah, there you go. So we've got Docker build 28.5. Now, what I'm trying to work out is this method is only available on Linux. If you've already Docker engine and Docker CLI installed, you can install Docker Compose plugin to command. Ubuntu. Maybe this might solve our problem. Let's try this. Guys, I'm just going to recap quickly. So just to recap what we've done, we essentially did some initial problem statement definition just to figure out what we're trying to do, and then we went on and did some in the documentation review for CTFd, what CTFd is, and we actually found out that this guy Kevin Chung is the developer or the original founder of CTFd. So shout out to him. And now we've actually started installing CTFd, but to obviously be able to do that, we need Docker to be able to run because CTFd runs in Docker. So we've basically just installed Docker and we're installing Docker Compose, and we've learned what Docker Compose is. It's essentially like it gives you the ability to have multiple containers running at the same time. So yeah, there you have it. Installing the plugin manually. So we don't need to install the plugin manually. What I'll have to do is, so we've got Docker Compose running. So what we need to do is make sure that we've got a reference doc so that we can do this later. So we use this for installing the there was one we clicked on. Where is it? Let's go back to CTFd and click on it again. And then we did this, and then from here we went to Ubuntu, and then from there we went here. This was what we did, guys. So I'll save this. And then the other thing we did was obviously install Docker Compose here, plugin. So we'll save that as well. Now, the reality is that this might not actually be all that we need, but at least we can keep record of what we're doing so far. And then obviously the installation page for CTFd is in here. So let's also save that as well. That's like the first thing. All right, guys, that's looking good so far. I'll close that up. All right, so that we've done that, we need to essentially git clone this. Now, heaven help me that git is installed on this box, to be honest. Because if it's not installed, then we're going to essentially have to let's do that again. Oh, there you go. Hallelujah, people. Hallelujah. I don't have to install Git on this. All right, we have officially put down the CTFd instance, so modify the Docker Compose file. Now, because we haven't done this before, guys, so we're actually going to do this on the same file. So we're going to do this to create a secret key, a randomly generated secret key for the sake of it. So, and it's going to be 64 characters long. So let's see. Let's do LSLA. So we've got the secret file here. You can use CTFd, blah, blah, blah. Now, before we run this, I want to change this to not point to an actual static value. to use an environment variable. So let's see how to configure CTFd secret as environment variable. Yep. Is there anything here? Don't have what I need. What is this setup? Like, who's maintaining that? I guess it's pretty fresh and pretty new. CTFd does not have the concept of configuration file leading to the planning configuration. Appearance my CTF configuration file. Configuration file. Is there a better way to do this? I didn't go here, go there. Thank you. And pause. I reckon I could probably just create a normal environment variable, but because it's a file, though, I don't have to. Let's see. So specify key. So key is that file. So let's see if something like nano is installed in here. All right. So let's see. CTFd and nano. So what are we looking for? Is the YAML file. Config the YAML, I believe so. Docker compose. Modify those files right there. And then so what we need to do here is where's the secret? This is root, start always. Secret key. Can anyone see this? I don't find the secret here. Not sure what happened there. So we've got the upload folder, var log folder is CTFd. This part, why Docker can be very simple in such really easy to make the jogging and receiving support more complicated. For deploying using Docker, I'll be sure you have it. You know how Docker works. Doing that, we've done it already. Modify Docker compose to YAML. maybe we can literally just jot that in here. In this case, it's using MariaDB. So I'm not sure where to get it. Oh, well, we see Redis here. Right, so it's got environment here, MariaDB root, and it's got password CTFd. Give me a second. Let me find some research Docker here. So we've got that going. We've got a, yep, we've done that. It's analyzing. The question I have is, do we even need this? For the repository to specify a secret key. And the secret key is needed for authentication. That's the point. So database is MySQL. The other one says it's MariaDB, so that's a bit annoying. Okay, so I need to do some digging to see whoever has done this before. Is there information on that online? Has anyone faced my plight before? So let's see. So Redis URL, database URL, secret key. CTFd provides a number of configuration options which are used to configure server behavior. Make the distinction between configuration values which can be configured only with server level access and values which can be configured by those with administrative privileges in CTFd. So configuration can be configured at any. For the sake of this, we're not going to change anything. Mail server, mail port. AWS access key. Bucket, upload folder. I think I might have to essentially paste this in there. So 4 workers. How many workers do we currently have right now? So we have Redis, restart always, network default, internal true. Depends on CTFd, Nginx. Environment, workload 1. So I think this just needs to replace this. So in this case, we don't actually have a reverse process, right? So set this to false. Why do I get the sense that this file should have been opened with sudo? Let's try this. Oh, no, it's all good. So one thing I typically do with something like this is to copy the content of this file before making any changes to it and chuck that somewhere else so we can refer back to it. Now, this is obviously because if we make a mistake somewhere, we want to be able to come back to an original version. So copy Docker compose the YAML to Docker compose YAML YAML dot backup. So that gives us a a backup version of it. Now when we try to go modify the original file, we are in a safe zone. So what I'm trying to do is figure out which one of this is needed and which is not. Which is not a very pleasant experience because it's got some hard-coded default stuff in here. So it's using MySQL, and at the same time, I can see MariaDB here as well. So am I just clueless on the difference between MariaDB and MySQL? So let's find out the difference. Between MariaDB, MySQL. So MySQL are both open source database technologies. You can use them to store data. Yeah, so they're different, right? So why do we have both of them into this Docker file? All right, look, we don't have a lot of time. Let's hard code this. So we change the default content here. Uh-oh, something is wrong. Uh-oh. No, don't want to save. All right. Yeah, I deleted something unintentionally. All right. So it doesn't have a lot of things saved in here. So what we'll do is we'll just replace. Can you comment something out in this file? That's an interesting question. Can you? That's the question though. Yes, you can. Cool. So what I can do is to comment all of this out. Unfortunately, I have to do it one after the other, which sucks, but it's the only way to sort of get the outcome I want of getting rid of all of it. Not quite sure why this one is different. Why are you different? There you go. So remember, I changed this to false. So what I'll do is I'll then go up and open new opportunities for us to paste stuff in here. So we generate a random secret key. Now, according to what we just read, the secret key allows us to be able to so we've already generated one. So let's go ahead and attach it. So that it's inside of. I'll save this first because I need to move that file in here. Oh, come on, file. 2, 3. Now that's looking very beautiful. So let's just review what we've got here. Oh, I think it'll be called Docker.secret. So we delete this. And we call that secret file, what is it called? .ctfd underscore secret underscore key. CTFd underscore secret underscore key. Yes, I want to save. Yes. So we saved that. We've made some changes to it. And we've given it the password and all of that. Now what we do want to do is that file we just modified is actually not inside of CTFd. So we need to go and copy the file. Come on, stop being a bit of a pain. Oops. No. There you go, it's a lot better. That's a payment. All right, I think we have officially gotten this working. So let's do Docker Compose up, which I am sure that will require us to then compose. Pardon me. What? Do I have to be in that directory? What is going on? I do have Docker installed. Is this sudo? interesting that it says it's not installed. See if it works. Permission denied. Don't even get me started. I think it should be running. Let's wait until we have access to a port number. So guys, the one thing I had to change is I could not use Docker compose dash run up. For some reason, that command does not exist. So I had to use Docker space compose, which because that was what we installed from here. So a bit of an interesting difference there. Oh, I guess it probably thinks we're in RPM or something. I don't know. We'll see. Let's actually see if the CTFd starts. So everything looks to be good so far. The DB is running. So 94% built. And Nginx is live. Waiting for the DB to be ready. Let's see. Obviously, if we wanted this to be persistent and to run in the background, we would have added the D option. So the key difference there is that if we want to quit this, we can literally just do Control C, and this should quit the whole server. But if you do it with the D, it kind of makes this a little bit more like it makes it sticky. So you have to essentially do a whole bunch of different things to essentially kind of exit out of it. You just need to do Docker compose down. That's pretty much the command you need to run. So we're waiting. Well, it says it's here. Let's find out. Now, obviously, the key thing, guys, to note is that we need to change that IP address to the IP address of the EC2 instance that we've got running, because this would not work with that. One thing we can do is to use curl to check it, but because we don't have access to curl on this box, so we need to go back to the EC2 instance, copy the public IP address, and then come back here and change that to it. So that should take us to it. Well, something is happening. I don't know what though. Oops. Uh-oh. Maybe, wait. I think it's still loading. There's all these different things that are already trying to sort of check it out. It's a bit scary. It's been barely alive. Okay. What is it? Default localhost. CTFd as localhost. So I don't have desktop environment installed in here. I don't want to because we only have 1 gig of RAM. So one way is to that's running in the background now. So if I do wget https http localhost put 8000. But I get back HTML. So why isn't it available on that IP address? Why isn't it available on that IP address? And that should solve our problem, hopefully. Why isn't it allowing that communication? Because I can reach it. I guess the question is, can I reach it from here? .154.208 to 30. think that's the problem we're having. So even though our CTFd is running, we're still not able to access it. Guys, I'm going to actually wrap up the stream so I don't keep the stream going forever. So people don't, have to look at it for that long. Hey Hussein, I didn't even know you were here. That's a good idea. That is a good point. I did not have port 80 open, but it should technically still work because I just went to it from within the actual virtual machine. But I do have everything open. So if I go to my security group for this, then that's a wizard. Which one is it that's attached to it? So inbound has everything allowed. There you go. Wait for HTTP. So if I add rule for all traffic, maybe that will solve a problem. Good pick, Hussein. Good pick. Let's try that again. All traffic. I've opened that up, so it'll take some time to work. So let's try again now that I've opened it. So it worked there. So that security group worked. Something is happening. Oh wait, I'm looking at HTTPS. It should be HTTP. Oh, look at that. That's loading. Perfect. Oh yes, we finally did it. 2 hours and 30 minutes and we're live. Okay, so let's go through some general setup. So Hck4G CTF hack of Node Nation. Is anyone else here watching this, or is it just me? Oh my goodness, this is scary. Oh boy, event description. So let's find that description here. So let's chuck that in here. I think this theme, this original theme, kind of looks pretty good. So we want a team challenge, yes. Challenge visibility, private for now, I guess. Let's make it public. Account visibility private. So visibility setting control the visibility of different sections of CTFd. Score visibility public. Registration visibility public. Verify email, yes. Team size, it's a maximum of 5. Can you do max mid? It's a minimum of 3 people and a maximum of 5 people. I don't know. Chucks, an admin, email, go away. I don't want that. Go away. Hatch for good. Admin password. Thank you very much. I'm going to have to nuke this letter because now my password is out there in the public. Nah, that's a lie. Guys, I'm just joking. My password is not out there publicly available to everyone to see. No, not now. So we'll still do logo. I think we have the Hck4Good logo here. Hck4Good logo. Icon paper. This image file is loaded on. Oh, seriously. Doesn't matter. Small icon. Favicon. That's a favicon. Theme color is. Yeah, that. Well, I'll have to find the actual color code for Hck4Good. But start time. So this will be on the 13th at UTC. So this will be I think a perfect time to have this would be 5 p.m. AEDT, which will be so that way those in Nigeria can sort of play at night, those in Africa can play at night. 5 p.m. AEDT to UTC. So 6 a.m. UTC. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. I needed that. Well, I can nuke it, I guess. Can I? Do I still have it? Yes, I do. So I'll just chuck it in here for the sake of it for now. A notepad plus just for now, and then come back in here. So it'll be 6 p.m. 6 a.m. So 6 a.m. UTC. An event ends. Event ends 6 on the 15th of November. Also 6 a.m. We'll do 7. I guess that's 6 a.m. UTC as well. I think we've got it. So next, social share, control whether users can share links. Come on, writing the challenge solves. Usually, cyber is a cybersecurity event tracker written and maintained by the. I don't need that. Finish. So it goes to CTF platform from CTFd. Users, teams, admin panel, profile. Okay. Statistics. Challenges. How do you then upload? The challenges, let's say category is miscellaneous. Value. Visible value is 10 points. standard. What is dynamic? That's standard. So category is miscellaneous. Test line. Message. Linear. We're going to make decay function. This is how many points the challenge is worth initially. So that's 10 point. Testing that everything is working. I'm going to have to nuke this and start again. And then I don't care about that. Don't care minimum value. So the decay value is used differently depending on the above decay function. So the amount of points deducted per serve equal deduction per serve. So as before the challenge reaches its minimum value, earlier serves will lose this point. The logarithmic is probably possible. So before the challenge reaches its minimum value. So let's say 50 people serves it, and then they might, so then that 5. So the flag would be what we've already created here. This is essentially where we can then upload files. So let's finish with that file upload. Let's see if that's available in the challenges. It doesn't have a name. What happened? Did I give it a name? I did this. There you go. So that's there. So I have to go here to log into the CTFd. I need to change this landing page. Teams, scope on. Let's log out. So let's actually see. Kick this out. So CD, CTF, and then CTF again. So I just want to see where that HTML file is. So cat index 1. Oh, mistake. What do we have here? All right, I think we've got this working. I need to do a bit of work with so it appears I need to do a bit of work with the HTML. So ideally, I wouldn't want it to say this when people come to it. So that's one big thing we need to do. A few things that we need to obviously test there is to make sure that people can actually register as teams. But so far, so good. I'll just go ahead and lock all of this down and tear this down later. Guys, I genuinely want to say thank you so much for hanging in with me. It's been absolutely amazing. We've been going non-stop now for 2.5 hours, and my energy level, as you can tell, it's definitely not depleted. All right. Okay, so guys, just to recap what we started, we wanted to obviously host CTFd, have it running, and we've done just that. So we've got a CTFd platform running right now. Using Docker, you can join a team or create team. We've also got challenges. We just created one challenge. So on the day, there's obviously going to be available challenges there for you guys to take a look at. But before you can see it, you obviously need to log in. Right. So thanks so much, everyone, for jumping in. Hopefully you've learned something from this. Like, hopefully you've actually, genuinely picked up something from my plight and my multiple different tabs and trying to research something and find out the answer to questions. Well, it's been amazing hanging out with you guys. So let's do some quick go-to-market show. So if you have not already gone to our platform at CyLynk.com to take a look at all the goodies that we have available to you there. Like I said to you guys, one of the things that makes our platform quite unique and different is that we are focusing on job-ready skills. So it's not just learning how to solve a challenge or learning how to do all of that stuff. We actually teach you how to learn. You guys have seen me demonstrate that, and I've intentionally not used AI so that I can actually learn this stuff, right? So it's those job-ready skills that you learn by learning through our platform. You can learn by signing up to one of our job-ready tracks. So a job-ready track is a bit different from a normal course. It's designed to be 100% job guaranteed and money back guaranteed. So we have so much confidence in what we're doing here at CyLynk.com that we would actually give you back your money if we don't help you land a job at the end of your program with us. So go to our platform right now, CyLynk.com, and sign up, reach out to one of our team, and we'll offer you one free complimentary strategy session so you can actually get a free career map at the end of that, so you get a better idea of where you are currently in your career, whether you've already been in cybersecurity or you're new. Our team will help you create and craft a unique and personalized cybersecurity career map that shows you where to go to next and how the next 5 years of your career is going to look. If you haven't checked that out, obviously go to our website right now, CyLynk.com, and check out our job ready tracks. We have job ready track for SOC, for OffSec, and for GRC, and across multiple different domains as well. And then for our courses, you can obviously learn from our courses, which are also designed with job readiness in mind as well. So the same content you receive from from the job ready track is essentially what you get in here as well, but only for $15 a month for the starter pack. Obviously, you can learn for free from one of our premium products, or you can also sign up to one of our certification courses, which will be available to you on our website. You can buy that right now, whether that be from CompTIA, for LPI, or for Security Blue Team. Shout out to our sponsors and to all of our partners who are obviously hanging out with us and supporting us as we go through this journey. Guys, do not forget what we do here at CyLynk. It is for the sake of those who are often forgotten, the outcast. If you're out there, you're feeling like you've been left out from the norm, from society, and you feel like outcast, even if you're living in a major city like, say LA or Melbourne, Australia, or Sydney, but you feel like you don't belong. This is your space. This is where you can belong. And not only that as well, we are reaching out to people in underserved communities, in the Asia Pacific region and in African region, and soon we'll be expanding to other areas as well. And we're reaching out to people in untapped regions, places like Africa, Papua New Guinea, Fiji, and across the different regions as well, and different local communities within Melbourne, the US, Canada, that is untapped. So the neurodiverse community, we are reaching out to you guys. Shout out to you guys, the work that you do. So there's a massive space for you in cybersecurity, and you want to be part of it. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's been absolutely incredible and amazing to be learning alongside every single person and putting myself out there. And surprise, I did not know that I had to open up my security group to allow for traffic to go through. Well, I did forget, not that I did not know. And that's an example of what it feels like to be learning with us, that rawness. And shout out to Hussein for calling that out. Really appreciate it, mate. It's been absolutely incredible learning with you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. With that, peace. Cheers. I'll catch you guys next week for another one. And don't forget to buy your ticket for Hack for Good. And also, do not forget to subscribe. And do not forget to hit the like button. With that, enjoy your evening, everyone. See ya. Bye.